Up. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very clean start. Not a Sinner is out to vie for the early lead, but a host of pursuers, including Nicolina and Wildfire Princess, comes through. It's Wildfire Princess dueling with Nicolina through the opening quarter mile. 2 lengths back to Rehearsal, who gets a good spot in third. 2 lengths clear of Not a Sinner, now fourth. Then comes Skating Through Life, Lady Marianne and Rich of Joy outside of them. Wildfire Princess is the leader heading to the far turn, pursued by Nicolina, length away second. 2 more Rehearsal still third. Then Not a Sinner fourth, followed by Skating Through Life. Rich of Joy takes fifth. And Lady Marianne between those two. It's Wildfire Princess, a length and a half in front with a quarter of a mile to go. Nicolina in second. Not a Sinner starts to pick it up on the outside, angling out, and has every chance with 1 furlong left. Wildfire Princess. Nicolina is right up alongside, but it's Not a Sinner who continues this stellar rally, and Not a Sinner takes command and is in front. It will be Not a Sinner to score by a length and a half. Nicolina stayed on well. Lady Marianne from well back third, then Wildfire Princess. And they're off. Perfect Life is very quick away from the gate. Tiergarten comes away a joint second. Rousing Jewel is down at the rail. Love Our Family is racing in fourth, and a Rousing Babe is at the back of this small field that goes into the first turn. It's Rousing Jewel, the pacemaker, has it a length and a half. Tiergarten second. Love Our Family is now a clear-cut third. 2 more lengths back to Perfect Life, and a Rousing Babe moves up, claims fourth as they swing past the 6 furlong pole. And it's Rousing Jewel leading the way. Has it a length and a half to Tiergarten. The favorite Love Our Family is just behind the top pair, and Keen. Love Our Family is tugging at Welfin Orantes coming toward the half-mile pole. Outside of her, it's a Rousing Babe. 3 off the pace in fourth, 8 more to Perfect Life. Antonio Fresu and Rousing Jewel have been the controlling speed throughout, with Tiergarten into second clearly and pressing a bit now. At the rail, Love Our Family still sharing third with a Rousing Babe, and then it's still a distance to Perfect Life. Rousing Jewel maintains the lead, trying to fend off Tiergarten, but here comes the big threat, and Love Our Family cut loose on the outside with a quarter of a mile to go. Perfect Life is getting into it from far behind there at the top of the stretch, and Love Our Family has swooped on by and opens up inside the final 1/8 of a mile, leaving Rousing Jewel behind as Perfect Life tries to complete the exact, and she'll do it. Lights out, Love Our Family, much the best, strolling in by almost 6. Perfect Life from far back into second. Rousing Jewel and Tiergarten. For the Basses and Mandela and Sorrento Sky. And they're off in the San Simeon. And it's a quick start for Careme Pass along the inside with Sorrento Sky. At the rail, here's Sumter flashing his customary early zip, moving through along the inside. And then comes Gran Oriente in fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. The 2 trailers, Genius Jimmy and Seal Team at the back of the field. Careme Pass goes down the hill in charge by 2.5 lengths. Sumter is in second. Sorrento Sky reserved on the outside third. Now about 5 off this pacemaker as Genius Jimmy in the blue moves through to challenge for that spot. And Gran Oriente between those two. Seal Team is at the back, but starting to pick up some momentum on the extreme outside. It's Kereme Pass confronted by Sumter at the quarter pole. Kereme Pass drifts out a bit. Sumter is right up alongside. Speaking of drifting, Seal Team went to the 8 path. Gran Oriente is trying to launch a bid between horses. Sorrento Sky on the outside as Sumter has taken command inside the final 1/8 of a mile. Kereme Pass not done. Comes right back on the inside. Kereme Pass and Sumter nose to nose. And here's a late run from Genius Jimmy. Driving finish. Sumter's head was there when it mattered. A flying Genius Jimmy and Kereme Pass, 3 of them across the course at the conclusion of the San Simeon. Last call, Paul. And they're off. Elegant Life and Last Call, Paul, very quick. Mongolian Max asked for early speed. The gray responds coming through along the inside. Dark Marcus, Mighty Kai, and Malibu Rocks at the back. It's Elegant Life with 7 furlongs to run, the leader. Has it a length and a half over Last Call, Paul. At the rail, Mongolian Max gets a good spot third, 2 lengths clear of Mighty Kai. Dark Marcus is 5th, 7 off the lead, and Malibu Rocks at the back. Elegant Life, the long shot leader to the backstretch. Last Call, Paul, keeping him company in second. It's another 2 back to Mongolian Max the gray. He's got some run inside of him and looking for a spot to go right now. Then comes Mighty Kai in 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. Dark Marcus and Malibu Rocks. Down the back stretch. Elegant Life, Last Call, Paul at the half-mile pole. Those two have been 1-2 the entire journey with Mighty Kai covering Mongolian Max. 3 lengths back, Malibu Rocks 5th, 5 off the lead, and Dark Marcus trails. 3 furlongs from the money, and it's Elegant Life. There's room now for Mongolian Max, and Mongolian Max splits rivals. Oh, and losing the rider there was Elegant Life. Number 5, Elegant Life had some trouble and lost the rider with a quarter of a mile to go. Mighty Kai and Mongolian Max come to the top of the stretch, and Mongolian Max is up to take command coming to the 8th pole. Mighty Kai second, Last call was third. They're coming to the 16th pole. Pablo Castillo is up on his feet by the ambulance as Mongolian Max will trounce the competition. Mongolian Max will win it by about 5 lengths. Mighty Kai second, Last Call, Paul third, and then it was Malibu Rocks. And grazed and a Misael Jaramillo to complete the line. And they're off. It's a quick start for Raging Waters. Disco Tribute is up close in the opening furlong as they cross the dirt and get to the main course. Double Jab is just outside of that pair, and they're followed by It's a Cinch in the red colors, 4th, just 3 lengths off the lead. Here's Grazed in mid-pack, 7 lengths off them. Bro is next on the inside of Frank Bullet. That pair is followed by Dino Dave. Dino Dave is on the outside. Tiz's Harbor is next. It's a huge gap to Maury Wills, who will really have to speed home from there. And Chrome Flash at the back of the field. Midway on the far turn, and it's Disco Tribute leading the way 3/4 of a length. Raging Waters, Disco Tribute on the outside. Double Jab is right there in the thick of it, too. From the outside, Grazed is the gray. Wider out, Frank Bullet in the green, and down at the rail, here's Raging Waters, and there's room for It's a Cinch splitting rivals. Bro is waiting for room just behind them. An absolute thriller here. It's a Cinch comes through. Bro on the outside surging, and Bro runs down. It's a Cinch. Double Jab finished third. Disco Tribute was 4th. And they're off. Quick start for Charms Away. Soy Nen is also alert, and here's Treximo scooting through along the inside. Treximo is the new leader. Kid Dynasty second, and Soy Nen in the red colors a close-up third. It's a gap of 3 back to Charms Away now fourth. Then Nash for Cash, and Cosmic Trail is at the back of the field. It's Treximo passing the half-mile pole, pressed by Kid Dynasty. 2.5 more. Soy Nen by himself in third. Then Charms Away in the lime colors fourth, 6 lengths off the dueling leaders. And the new leader is Kid Dynasty as they come to the 5/16. It's Kid Dynasty in front. Charms Away is making serious headway on the outside, 3 deep. Soy Nen is just inside of him. And Treximo there at the top of the stretch. And Kid Dynasty has opened up a huge lead inside the final 1/8 of a mile. It's a head-and-head battle for second, but a no doubt about it blowout from Kid Dynasty. Kid Dynasty will stroll in, wins by 7 lengths. Soy Nen outgamed Charms Away to complete the exacta. Delantero. Good luck at the NHC. And they're off. Captain Chuchi's alert out of the gate. Here's Centro Delantero on the outside. The pace appears pretty moderate for this first 16th of a mile. Balladeer is up close too, and so is Tempest Volat, who's down on the inside. Iron Man Cal is settled between horses, a length in front of Lord Bullingdon, who has 5 lengths to make up into that turn. Namarone in the green is down on the inside of Rastaman Vibe, and the trailer is Deer District. They swing onto the backstretch, and it's Hall of Famer Kentis Ormo and Balladeer doing his thing on the front end, chased by his stablemate on the winning streak. Captain Chuchi's in second. Then comes Tempest Volat, who's down on the inside of Centro Delantero. Iron Man Cal under a nice hold past the half-mile pole. He is racing 6 lengths behind front-running Balladeer. Lord Bullingdon is trying to inch up outside of them. Namarone, Rastaman Vibe in the lime, 3 clear of Deer District. Balladeer the leader. Captain Chuchi's turning up the pressure on him as they come to the quarter pole. Iron Man Cal needs racing room in between rivals. In the meantime, Centro Delantero in the oranges on the outside. Down at the rail, Tempest Volat, and in the center of the course, Rastaman Vibe on the outside. Centro Delantero, Rastaman Vibe, Iron Man Cal desperate for room. Captain Chuchi's keeps on fighting hard. Centro Delantero on the outside. Captain Chuchi's driving 3-way photo finish. It is too close to call. Centro Delantero was on the outside. At the rail, Balladeer kept fighting. Captain Chuchi's in there too. And there was a flying Namarone late. It's a close photo. Into the hall. And they're off. Beautiful beginning. Into the hall is the quickest out of there, but here's Ovita's Hobby in between horses, and No Cap flashing plenty of early pace. And in fact, No Cap is up to take command down the backstretch. She's just in front of Ovita's Hobby second, and then it's into the hall 3 deep in third. Scary Fast Ride, Our Moonlight second to last, and Artisma at the back of the field. It's No Cap past the half-mile pole, leading by about a length, with Ovita's Hobby second, into the hall in third. At the rails, Scary Fast Ride just 2.5 or so off the lead. Another 2 lengths back to the favorite, Our Moonlight, who's asked to pick it up now. 4 lengths off them, and Artisma is at the back. They're coming to the quarter pole, and No Cap, hanging tough, leads at 1.5 lengths. into the hall on the outside, and in between them, Ovita's Hobby, Scary Fast Ride at the rail. They turn for home, and No Cap spurts clear now, has a 2.5 length lead. Scary Fast Ride becomes the danger. These two are dominating, and Scary Fast Ride is getting to No Cap right up alongside at the 16th pole, and Scary Fast Ride will win it convincingly, handwritten to a 2.5 length victory. No Cap second. Our Moonlight rallied belatedly for third. You are sure to experience world-class gaming, dining, and entertainment. Walking up. We're in the gate. And they're off. She's No Quant was off a bit slowly. It is a very fast start for Midnight Cowgirl, who is now joined by stablemate A Great Shaking. Ryan Hansen 1-2 down the backstretch with Jackpot Clover coming away in third. And now A Great Shaking steps on the gas and opens up 4. Dancing Daisy is now in that fourth spot, 7 lengths off the lead. Up for the Hunt is down at the rail. It's a break of 3. Back to Conquest Sioux. Grazing in the Grass is next, followed by Intuitive by Nature as they move into the far turn. That group is followed by She's No Quant, who has to be 15 or so off the pace, racing right on the inside of Furia. It's another couple of lengths back to Melba Montgomery as the field hits the top of the stretch, and the lead belongs to A Great Shaking, who's still well clear. Out in the center of the course, Dancing Daisy is making some late headway. Inside of her comes Midnight Cowgirl, and from the back of the field at the rail, it's Up for the Hunt, and She's No Quant. A Great Shaking, coast to coast. Second, Midnight Cowgirl, who was just in front of She's No Quant. The photo for fourth went to Dancing Daisy in front of Up for the Hunt. 40.
If you're a college basketball fan, you know that today is Selection Sunday. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're a horse player following the races from both Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita, today is also Selection Sunday. The reason being we have 3 traditional carryovers, one in the regular Santa Anita Pick 6, that carryover $32,000. That'll begin in race number 4. Also, the Sunset Pick 6 has a 2-day carryover of $47,000, and the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5, that has a massive carryover of $119,000. So to help us put together our brackets, i.e. also our tickets for all those carryovers, none other than one of the premier clockers anywhere in North America. You've seen him many times. He gives out winners. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Great to be here, Tom. And yeah, we're ready. It feels good today all the way around.
It sure does. Good energy, a lot of carryovers, a lot of good action, a lot of good races. Sure, there's a couple small fields, but you still got to pick winners. Toby, I'll ask you the question I always ask you almost every Sunday. What was the work tab like this morning? And did anybody stick out?
Yeah, it was a healthy tab. We had fog, kind of a pesky fog. Came in real early, got thicker.
Did that delay the workouts in the beginning of the morning?
Yeah, people kind of worked anyway, but it delayed the big set at 6:30. And, it was frustrating because you just sit there and, ironically enough, I ran into Jeff Mullins and he was trying to stick it out, and I had to wake him up a little bit. And he said Intrepido's working today. So how about that? Intrepido worked today. And
how far and how did he look?
5/8, and he went a minute flat, and he really looked good and solid. I think everybody's going to be very happy with that work. And it's pivotal now because we're a couple of weeks away, and this is the time you have to really start to look the part. So a very pivotal work for him today. And Desert Gate worked yesterday. And boy, oh boy, he's so full of run that they can't hold him on the ground. And the proof is kind of there on the work tab. He worked him back in 5 days.
Can he get 2 turns is the question.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he's fit enough right now. That's for sure. So even if he couldn't, he'll get it. Just a question of how fast.
The Santa Anita Derby less than 3 weeks away. That'll be the first Saturday in April. And Toby, I'll ask you a follow-up question from last Sunday. Have you seen Cherokee Nation work from the Bob Baffert barn, the impressive main allowance winner?
Cherokee Nation worked yesterday. I don't know what to call it. It was 39 flat for 3/8. I guess he just wanted the old jog. Just
seems like an odd distance.
Yeah, just to stretch the legs, I guess. We wanted to give him a little work, so he just let him. It was a solo work, so they just wanted him relaxed and calm. And, I think he was kind of sleepwalking out there. But nonetheless, he did show up. And, Desert Gate worked back in 5 days. So maybe we're seeing some tightening of the workout patterns from Baffert. Journalism worked yesterday, and he's on course.
Distance and time?
Distance, it was like I had 1:03. I think he got 1:01 flat officially. But I'll tell you what, the big work for the stakes racing implications came from Michael McCarthy's barn with his 3-year-old filly, Meaning. Meaning was last seen here winning the Las Virginis.
Beating Explorer, who came back to win.
Exactly. And so the key there is, Explorer is top of the class. She went out of state and proved that again. Meaning did it. Was that a fluke last time? I don't think so. After what I saw yesterday, I'm going right back in her corner, and I'm kind of excited about her now, even more so than before.
Toby, we're going to celebrate winners throughout the course of the day, but we're also going to celebrate the life of John Sheriff. There's going to be a ceremony of life for him in the Chandelier Room during the races today. I know that you were close to both John and his partner, Dottie and Gordo. It's going to be a very emotional day because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great stories and fun stories to share, but also, of course, it means the ultimate goodbye. So, Dottie, I'm sure will be very front and center for that particular ceremony, but it's always sad to say goodbye to somebody that we're close to.
Well, the thing with John is I am very close with Dottie, and John came with the package pretty much. He was such a classy guy that even though we were diametrically opposed on our thoughts, he's such a classy guy that he basically just welcomed me as family because of Dottie. And he was so affable, when I talked to him. He had such a charm, and he was like that with everybody. And that's why I said at his funeral a couple weeks ago, I said, this had to be private, or they would have had 100,000 people here. So it was a very beautiful day and a beautiful ceremony. Dottie was very happy with that. And she's moving on very well. I was a little worried about her, still am, but she's doing really good.
Life is for the living, that's for sure. And our condolences to all of John's family and friends, including all the people that work behind the scenes in his barn. Those are the people that have to move on and work for other barns now that have taken over the John Sheriff's barn. People like Bob Hess and Peter Urton, to name a few.
Yeah, and Leonard Powell as well got one of his main exercise riders. They didn't, I'm sure, have any problem gravitating to other barns. I'm sure they're all well placed now. And it's, like you said, you put it very well. Life goes on. Life is for the living now. And, we look back just to celebrate.
And Toby, it's interesting. As we look back on Zenyatta's career, I think it becomes like fine wine. It becomes more impressive year after year after year, because what he was able to accomplish, John Sheriff's, with the training regimen of Zenyatta and perform the way she did at such a high level is a testimony to why he should have been inducted into the Hall of Fame before his passing and not after his passing. Yeah,
well, I am actually very happy because the 60 Minutes did a great special, and boy, it was just beautiful. And it ended up with him giving her the Guinness right in the tub there. And he, you want to talk about just affable and just so gracious with everyone that there it is. I mean, anyone could go see Zenyatta. Here she is. You'd be scared to let anything, but he let anyone just go up and have their fill with her at the barn.
We've got 3 carryovers to attack, and hopefully at the end of the day, we'll have a couple of Guinness Stouts ourselves. But before we do any of that, we've got to find out who is running in each and every race. So we want to get the scratches from track announcer Frick Maramati. We'll do that right now. When we resume, we'll find out who Toby likes on today's 9-race card with 3 carryovers in the mix. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Pick 6 carryover today, 32,000 plus. Here are the early changes. Sunset 6 has carried yet again, 47,000 plus. No scratches in the opener. In the second, no show wagering, scratch 4, Ufta. In the third, scratch 1, Newton. Scratch 3, Kelsey. 1 and 3 out of the third. Fourth race starts to pick 6. Scratch numbers 3 and 5, and so there's no place or show wagering, but the pick 6 has 32,101 carried over. Race 5, late pick 5, all turf pick 3 wagering. Scratch number 9, Sir Percival. In the 6th, no show wagering. Scratch number 3, Udi. Race 7 is the Santa Ana. Scratch 11, Catalina Cocktail. 8th race, scratch 2, cash in tonight. Note 5, Can You Dream? The jockey Vicente Del Cid. Vicente Del Cid on number 5. Can You Dream? And in the 9th, super high 5 wagering is offered, and there are no scratches or jock changes. Enjoy your day at the great race place. We also have the Coast to Coast pick 5 in addition to the pick 6 carryovers. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Coast to Coast pick 5, combining races from Gulfstream and Santa Anita. 58 minutes to post. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest is Toby Turrell.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Toby Turrell. You can find his work on a daily basis at CaseTheRace.com. He'll give you selections for all the races here at St. Anita, as well as important workout information on each and every race day card. Inexpensive way to sharpen up your handicapping and find out who one of the experts in Southern California likes on a daily basis. CaseTheRace.com. Also, special shout out to those still participating in day 3 of the final day of the National Handicapping Championship at the Horseshoe Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. You'll recall we started with a field of 830 players. We're now down to 83, and of course the action is fast and furious. One of those players out of the group of 83 is going to walk home with a check in excess of $825,000. Many of them represented by qualifying at First Bet and First Racing and the affiliated racetracks. So good luck to all the players, including those that qualified right here at the Great Race Place. All right, Toby, 9 races to get through, so let's kick it off in race number 1, where we are, of course, fast and firm. The turf rails today are at 20 feet, and race 1 is going 1 mile on the turf course. Maiden Claiming Calabreds in for a $50,000 tag. Race 1 also begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. Right now, the current betting choice at 5-2 is number 6, Shapoval from the Jeff Mullins Bar in Tyler Bays in the saddle. You saw Jeff. You had to wake him up earlier this morning. Did he give you any insight into race 1?
I didn't ask him. He gave me the highlight. He said Intrepido. I said, okay, I got it.
Man, a few words.
He's right to the point, old Jeff.
Yes, he is.
But in this race here, if you want to watch a tape of a horse that ran a terrific race, it's number 7, 19th hole for Tim Yakteen. I didn't expect it, quite honestly. And what this means is, like we talked about in weeks past, this is a turf horse that on dirt is not going to show the same action or stride or performance. This debut effort, the horse got eliminated at the start, believe it or not, was not ready for the break, just flat out stood there, got real ranked, did all the things a first-timer would do by getting green. And I thought he was beat, but I'll tell you what, he started to rebid and find another gear close to home, and darn near won the race. So if that's indicative of what he'll do today, I like him to win the race. I do, however, give the number 1 horse a big chance to win the race. That's Star of Delhi. I liked this horse last time, and he just got eliminated on the first turn. You could rip up your tickets right then and there. He was training big into the race, and now he's on the rail. I expect him to be a big factor in this race. I will be using the 7 and the 1 to kick off all the early the pick 5 and all the rest of the early wagers.
Toby, it's interesting you mentioned the 19th hole race replay to go back and watch it, because it's likely many players did not see that particular race. February 15th was the day that Super Bowl Sunday was occurring. So if you didn't see 19th hole's performance on Super Bowl Sunday, go back and watch the replay. A number of runners in race number 1 exit the exact same race. Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Fillies and Mares, it's a starter optional claiming race. The program scratch of the 4, Ufta, leaves us with a field of 4. Number 5, Outrageous, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 2, Toby.
Well, the outside mare here, Outrageous, she's a genuine hard-knocking horse, and she's really coming into herself. Kind of noted the big-time guts and raciness of her all the way back to Los Alamitos, and she proved in her last 2 starts she could translate it to the big track here at Santa Anita. And she's sharp, and she's genuine as she's outside. So it's her race to lose. However, if you want to talk about the now horse, I guess you'd have to say that's number 3, Unbridled Scholar, because when you win by 8 lengths, you don't really need much more explanation. Now, she is shortening up, but that sharpness will carry her, and she is the horse to beat. So 5 and 3 here in race 2.
Follow-up question for you, Toby. It relates to number 1, Legal Fiction. It was off a long time. That had a comeback race. It was on the turf course at a much higher class level. Now takes a big drop down in class, but Doug O'Neill goes to his go-to guy, Emisiel Jaramillo. Do you give Legal Fiction any sort of a look off the most recent work since that race?
Well, it's interesting because this filly actually tripped over the horse that went down in that race. So, sometimes that could rattle her. I don't know what it'll mean for her today, but she's taking a huge drop in class. And she is the other horse in the race, no question. She's just an X factor. And but no doubt, you can take a line right through the 50 lengths she got beat because honestly, she wasn't allowed to finish the race.
A legitimate excuse that's not really apparent in the past performance running lines. Race number 3, we're back on the turf course, sprinting 6 furlongs of the distance. Maiden special weight 3-year-olds. There are 2 scratches. Scratch the 1 and the 3 leaves us with a field of 5. Likely post-time favorite is going to be number 7, Chapter 1 on the bottom for trainer Doug O'Neill. However, Toby, before we get your thoughts on the race, you wanted to show a workout for number 6, Diaghilev, who's from the Richard Mandela barn. This was a training track drill back on February 28th, and I watch a lot of workout tapes, Toby. I'll tell you what, the exercise rider on Diaghilev is strangling this particular horse beyond comprehension, which in my estimation is a very, very good sign, because if you take a look on the bottom of the screen, you'll see the workout time is completely legit. And this runner, Diaghilev, did it with basically no effort exerted whatsoever.
Yeah, no question. And the horse outside of him is Sandy Street. And that horse ran a pretty good race last weekend. So it's pretty good company. And that's a very big horse, Sandy Street. But the tempo and the visual and the theme does not change here. You can see the hold was not released by any stretch, and definitely full of runs. So we got to just look for that action today down the lane, and we'll be counting our money.
Having watched that workout tape, I assume you put Diaghilev on top. If you had to pick a second contender, it looks like you do respect number 7, Chapter 1. Well,
Chapter 1 has a lot of speed as well for Doug O'Neill. I don't know that that's a 6 furlong horse at heart, but he has that speed and he's outside of the horse. By the way, Diaghilev was gelded prior to that last race. That's also pretty significant. So this is a horse that's on his way up. And obviously we're not going to get 6-1 with the scratches, but nonetheless, we do need to get the winner of this race to keep our rolling bets rolling.
And Toby, stop selection number 6, Diaghilev, is a half to Goliad. You can see that in the racing form if you're looking at the closer look comments. Goliad earned $1.7 million all on turf, also trained by trainer Richard Mandela. Race number 4 begins the fireworks. $2 pick 6, already $32,000 in the pool. You got to pick all 6 winners, and maybe it's a free bingo square in race number 4 because we're going 1 mile on the main track for $6,250 claimers. There are 2 program scratches. Number 3 and 5 have been declared out of the race. That just leaves us with a field of 3. Contrarian Chieftain for trainer Lee Baraccio is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Is that the single, Toby, or are you looking elsewhere?
Well, he has to be the single. Namely because the main rival that I see to him just has not proven that he wants 2 turns, and that's number 1, Mother's Prayer, who continues to train in sharp fashion into the race, but he just hasn't proven recently that he wants that second turn. And Contrary Chieftain certainly has proven it by winning these races with these conditions that we're seeing here today. So this is a very ripe spot for the trainer here, who got a lot of accolades and big stories written about him, did Liberato here. And he comes from the Julio Canani school, believe it or not. I've got my luxury of, I don't need Google or anything else. I have my dad. And basically he has had quite the career. I remember way back in the Hollywood Park days, we were running in similar circles when he was just hustling and basically doing a lot of grooming work and always an affable character. Of course, in the movie business, I've talked to him about that at length. But with all that said, this horse, just something unforeseen kind of has to turn out in this race for this horse to get beat.
The Julio Canani training tree runs deep. Also, Paul Aguirre, current trainer, who suffered an unfortunate disqualification on yesterday's card, also tutelage under trainer Julio Canani. Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. Plenty of wagering action today here at Santa Anita, and we kick off both wagers in race 5, going 1 mile on the turf course. Allowance optional claiming race, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 9 leaves us with a field of 8. Number 7, Beef Winslow, who's in sharp form for Bob Hess, is the the 2-1 morning line favorite. Before I get your thoughts on the race, Toby, I want to watch a replay that a few of these runners exit. This would have been the replay back on February 15th. It was the 9th race. Again, this was Super Bowl Sunday. And both Coco-san and None Above the Law exit this race. When we listen to Frank Miramati describe the action, we want to pay attention to None Above the Law. He's a good-looking gray horse who's going to break from post position number 3 and wears saddlecloth number 3. But I think you'll agree with me that he does incur some significant trouble, which might have affected his finished position. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action of the 9th race back on February 15th and watch None Above the Law, who's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 3.
And they're off. Captain Chuchis, as usual, is out very alertly and will vie for the lead. T'Challa is flashing good foot and wants that front. Catch the Breeze is just behind them in 3rd and Baldoro racing in 4th. Then Coco-san 5th, 5 lengths off the lead. None Above the Law is next. Amplitude is toward the back of the field, has 8 or 9 to make up. He's guided over to the inside. Just in behind them is On the Whim. Uncle Happy went by that pair in the yellow colors. He's 3 deep, and it's a gap of 5 to Zalamo, who trails. Moving on to the backstretch, and it's T'Challa in hand, in command, leading by a length and a half. Captain Chuchi's on that win streak, is racing in 2nd. Then Catch the Breeze in 3rd. Baldoro is in 4th. None Above the Law is 8 lengths off the pace. Coco-san is next. Uncle Happy racing on the outside of Amplitude with less than a half mile to travel. On the Whim, patiently handled, close to 15 lengths off them, and Zalamo inches up behind him. It's T'Challa who's been there every step of the way, but Captain Chuchis is now starting to apply serious pressure, and Captain Chuchis comes for the lead with a 1/4 mile to go. Catch the Breeze will angle to the outside for the drive. Coco-san, Orange Cap is on the extreme outside. None Above the Law looking for a spot to run, and Baldoro is in the mix too. On the Whim, late Captain Chuchis confronted by Catch the Breeze. These two are head and head. Captain Chuchis very game, trying to get his winning streak intact. Baldoro with a late run, and On the Whim, Captain Chuchis.
Toby, as we continue to watch the gallop out there, the 2 grays, Captain Chuchi's on the inside, who came back to win again yesterday. And there's our friend None Above the Law galloping out basically alongside of him as well. At odds of 6-1 on the morning line with Farad Giroux in the saddle, I do like None Above the Law in race number 5 today. However, you're going in a different direction.
Good race to go for value. Tough race. So I'm going for value on the 2 horse in here, Moonlit Sonata. Interestingly enough, if you want to scan and see something interesting, indeed, just go back and look at the fact that this horse ran with British Isles.
I've heard of him.
Right? That's your big cap winner. And this horse, I remember this race like yesterday. They were all coming down the lane in a pack, and Moonlit Sonata ran a valiant race that day. Ever since then, he has not been in the winning spot. I do believe that this is a kind of a miler who needs a certain pace situation to make it happen. And I think he might get that today. I'll tell you what, I've said it before, and I continue to watch closely every day to validate, your opinions and thoughts. And there is no question that Mr. Kimura is an outstanding gate rider. He did it again yesterday for Yakteen when he got that maiden out of the gate and just right out into winning position. And I'm hoping that happens today with this big long shot, Moonlit Sonata. Hot Rocket is a horse that's a very hard knocking horse that lost a heartbreaker down at Del Mar in the last race of the day down there on November 29th. And he will be rolling late. The question is, what position will he be in? Will he be in a position to win the race? He might be. He's 15-1, so you don't have to worry too much. Again, good race to find some value. This will be a separator, I believe, in that pick 6, et cetera.
10-1 over 15-1. Bombs away in race number 5. So says our summer guest, Toby Turrell. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 2 other than 1 scratch. Scratch the 3 Udi leaves us with a field of 4. Number 2, Cash Call one of two, one trained by Bob Baffert. Just scratch what I was going to say. One of the runners trained by Bob Baffert, 4 to 5 on the morning line, is Cash Call. However, Toby, before we get your thoughts on the race, one more workout to watch courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com. It would be for the bottom runner, number 5, Thermal. This workout was on the main track back on March 8th, not too long ago. And to me, this was just a real easy, smooth type of drill. But you wanted to show the work. Why'd you want to do that?
Well, because when you work easy and smooth and you work in 45 and change, you don't see that every day. In fact, you don't see that too often, very rarely with any horse. And interestingly enough, this horse has made works like this almost routine, if you can believe it. She has just been one of the best workhorses through the months and years now. She could breeze 46 in her wheelhouse. She just got that kind of intrinsic speed. And as you can see, the rider here never thinks of moving, and she's stopping the clock in 45 and 3. Now, she'll have to use that intrinsic speed to get the jump on the favorite in here, Cash Call. That's the key to the race. She's got to get the jump on Cash Call using all that speed. I think the workout shows that she can and is ready to. And I remember I did the seminar here when she ran last time out on January 11th, because she was scheduled to be sold and was going to be sold a couple of days after that race. But the connections did not sell her. And that's just got to bode well as well for today. So let's go 5 and 2, Cash Call. Your favorite for a good reason. We'll just hope that Thermal gets the jump on her and see what happens down the stretch.
And that work we just watched on March 8th, a bullet workout, best of 115 workers that particular morning at that distance. Race number 7 is our feature race on today's card. It's the Grade 3 Santa Ana Stakes, going 1.25 miles on the turf course for fillies and mares. Also, race 7 begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. Takeout number 11, Catalina Cocktail, the only also eligible in the field, drawn right inside of her. Number 10, Mrs. Astor, is the 5 to 2 morning line favorite. Hard-knocking, hickory type of 6-year-old mare from the Jonathan Thomas barn. 10 ways you can go here, Toby. Which way are you going and why?
Well, a good race here. Obviously, you might want to try to find some value. The favorite is on the far, far outside. She's going to have to negotiate a trip with Frezu there. The number 5 mare, Public Assembly, the key for me today, on top of the fact that she just has troubled trip after troubled trip. Now, keep in mind that even with the trouble, she's very close to beating Miss Astor in the past. So that is a great angle going for her to win this race today. But the main factor here today is that this is her distance. This is the day that she should have her distance and her trip. And she has Florent Giroux in the saddle, who has made a mark on this colony and on the scene in a big way. So I'm hoping that he navigates the right winning trip in this big field down the lane. And Miss Astor, she needs no introduction whatsoever. She just is classy and wins race after race. She never does it easy, but she does it. And that's the bottom line. But she is in the 10 post, 5 and 10 in race 7.
Follow-up question for you, Toby. In race number 7, and specifically number 7, Starry Night. Last time out in the Robert J. Frankel, ran fantastic. First time in Southern California, was actually supplemented to that race. Now has plenty of time in between races. Have you seen this daughter of Justified trade in the morning, and how's she doing?
Yeah, she's doing fine. It's interesting that she's only working a half mile for a marathon type race today. And take note that as nice as that race was last time, those fractions were about as easy and soft as you'll see in any race here at Santa Anita.
And what about our good old buddy Larry Zapp, who's part of the ownership team of number 9 Resolve? He's been busy, Larry, down in Ocala purchasing new babies. But what do you think about Resolve's chances in today's feature?
Now, right now, he's busy gearing up for St. Patrick's Day back in Florida. Decided to stay a few extra days.
Got an early start.
I got a big kick. Guinness was his drink in years past, right over here locally. And this is a filly that's running big races, race after race. She just doesn't seem to quite get it done. Interestingly, Hector Barrios had some decisions to make, and he's going to stick with her today. And Larry won't be here. He's back in Florida, not coming back yet. With his partner in the bloodstock game, Miss Amanda Murphy, who actually is my partner, if you will, down in Del Mar in the Clockers booth. So 8-1, not a bad price.
Let's take a look at race number 8 begins the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout. We kick off that wager in race 8, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Maiden claiming Calbred, 3-year-old fillies, in for a $20,000 tag. Take out of the race number 2, cash in tonight, been scratched. The original morning line favorite. Also take note, the new jockey on number 5, Can You Dream, Vicente Del Cid. The likely revised morning line favorite is also going to be number 6, Twisted Humor from the Jeff Bondi barn. 3-2 on the original morning line, likely to go lower. What say you about race 8, Toby?
Yeah, well, this race, there's not a lot in here to find yet. These fillies have a lot to prove. And one thing the favorite has proven to me is that she's a fighter. She has shown up every time, and that includes her debut effort, where she chased a lone lead winner that day. And ever since then, she has run her heart out. Now she takes a big drop in class, and that scratch should really help her, because that takes us a lot of pace out of this race. And that should really help the 6 as well. So the horse right next door, Big Miss, ran a good race last time out, much improved. A very, very slow race. You can see that on paper. But she is getting Lasix today. And Tyler Bays, he had a nice story written about him this week. I go all the way back to when this guy was 16 years old, starting out here. Tyler. And after reading that story, you can't help but root for the guy. This could be an upset for him, number 7, Big Miss. So we'll go 6-7 in race 8.
And speaking of rooting for guys, Toby, let's just take a quick moment out of our seminar to basically pay homage to the trainer of number 7, Big Miss, Brendan Galvin. I've never had the opportunity to meet him, but I'll tell you what, I'm always on the lookout for trainers that are a little bit below the radar, and Brendan has certainly had a very strong meet. He's 9 for 19 in the money. His horses are never really wagered on, and I don't know if you know him personally, but he's one of many trainers that does a very, very good job with limited opportunities.
Well, when he came out here to make the original transition, it took him quite a while to get his feet underneath him. He had a winner like right out of the gate. It looked great, and then it took him a while to get his bearings. But one thing I do know about the guy is he loves his job, and he's always there. He's always walking with the horses to and from the barn area, even at their side. So he loves what he does. Then he's got great enthusiasm, and his horses have been live. He won with Kading Thunder last that big price. That was Big Cap Day, yeah.
First time turf, Tyler Bays in the saddle. We close out the day, we close out the week in race number 9, offering $1 super high five wagering. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course for fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A really good field of 10 here. Morning line favorite number 9, Rosa Parks from the Phil D'Amato barn. Antonio Fresu in the saddle, 5-2 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, we want to take one more look at a workout for number 5, Marion Cross, who is taking the blinkers off today for trainer Dan Blacker. This was a solo 5 furlong training track drill back on February 28th. Again, it looks like Marion Cross is doing it very easily from my standpoint.
Well, she is right now because she's starting out this 5/8 work. And Ricky Gonzalez, by the way, is in the saddle here. She kind of took off with Ricky. He's not stopping her. He's not starting her. He's just letting her do what she wants to do. And she wanted to run. I mean, make no mistake about that. She really showed a lot of speed here, about 34, low 34s to stop the clock in 58 flat, which she had to really finish the deal here in the stretch to earn that 58 flat clocking. Now, the key is this work here was really strong. The big key on top of this work is she came back the following week and did what she had to do, slowed it down, and she was under a giant hold with a ton of run in reserve. So you take this work here we're looking at on top of the following work the next week, and you have the recipe, I hope, for a big upset win.
8-1 on the morning line. If there is a stranger danger to Marion Cross, who would that be? Looks like number 3, Madonna of Loreto.
Madonna is training very well. She's kind of a hard-knocking horse in her own right. She doesn't seem to get there, but she knocks on the door, and if she gets a better trip per se than maybe she's had in her last few starts. Last time she got slammed out of the gate, made a nice move, and then kind of lugged or something in the lane. So if she behaves herself, 10-1's a nice price there as well.
You want the rest of the story? Go to CaseTheRace.com. Pick up Toby Turrell's sheet on a daily basis, selections and noted workouts as well. It's a pleasure to have you once again on the seminar, Toby. Thanks for your time and insight. Good luck today on all your selections. And, of course, we'll do it again real soon.
Good enough.
Thanks for watching, everybody. A couple of quick reminders. Don't forget, a lot of carryovers today. First of all, what about the pick six? Excuse me. What about the coast to coast pick five carryover? $119,000. That's a one-day carryover, traditional carryover, no jackpot nonsense. It begins Gulfstream Park, race 7, 12:52 p.m. Pacific time. And what about the Sunset Pick 6? Nobody has been able to solve that riddle the last 2 days. $1 minimum, low 15% takeout, $47,000 in the pool already. That'll kick off with Gulfstream Park race 8, 1:23 p.m. Pacific time. And of course, our pick 6 starting with race 4, $32,000 in the pool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep in mind, live racing resumes next Friday, 1 o'clock post, 8 races on Friday. Until then, have a great afternoon. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. We are fast and firm. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. The rail on the turf is at 20 feet. Nothing new to report. Here are the changes. Coast to coast, pick 5. No one hit it yesterday. 119,000 in there.